Viewer discretion is advised.
So this is Day After Dead, episode 10. I'm FUNKNOWN here with Jay and Asadasa.
Yep.
And to just get right into it, I first want to just get off how that first scene of the zombies walking out the water, probably my favorite scene of this show so far. I don't know, just like when the female, specifically when she got up and it hit that bass in the music. Yeah, it was real. It was like, it gave me like that classic zombie vibe, you know, the horror vibe.
With the little
I
kids
like
running around too, like, something bad is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Baby boy.
I just the music in the show, I kind of like it. It gives me that has like that scary vibe to it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that those like strings of guitar or whatever instrument.
Yeah.
You know?
There was some camera work there too, I think, where they like deliberately cut around the fact it was a fence. So you were like, oh, they're gonna get the kids. Oh no! It's like, oh no, they were safe the whole time.
Oh,
did you guys expect the fence? Did you expect the fence in that moment? I'm like, what is it?
No,
these kids are gonna run away.
No,
this shit's gonna go down now.
Like I said, like I said before, I hoped that the slingshot was gonna come out and the kid was gonna save the day, but I had no idea the fence was there.
I was a brolic slingshot though.
Oh, that shit was.
It was like
Dennis the Menace Extreme. Dennis the Menace 5.0 GT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then when they showed the fence, I was like, all right, of course, you know. The kids were too comfortable right there.
That's why I thought he was gonna slingshot it. Like I was like, this kid's got this in the bag. There's no worries here.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
But right from that, I don't know. As soon as we were introduced to his family, I felt there was something. There's just something off, you know. Because first let's jump back a bit. When they first walked up to the hill, I thought they were crazy, just all walking in a straight line to a random house that they know people are in. So like, I mean, it just goes to show that it's still early in the show, and goes to show that it's early in the show. You know what I mean?
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
they're inexperienced pretty much. How they're still like
inexperienced in life though. Like, come on, like scatter a little bit. You know, goes
right?
back to
Just
the flank, like somebody.
Although
you know?
Nick looked like he was walking a little wide. Nick is the consistent theme in the show where he seems like he's ready for this shit.
Yeah, he knows what's up. You know what I'm saying? He's ready to scramble.
Yeah,
scatter.
I mean, let's be fair though. Even in Walking Dead, they don't really scatter or.
No, for sure. Even they're that, and that's what keeps me grounded in the show. Is that they're far that along and that far ahead in The Walking Dead, and they're still making mistakes. So it's like, to me, it makes sense that these characters probably, because like, let's be real, they're gonna keep making these kinds of mistakes for the next until they're all dead. You know,
right?
Walking.
I seen it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what were the vibes that the family was giving off you guys. You thought, like, oh, this nice little family here, or you thought there was something shady going on, or what?
I think from when they first started showing the kids, and then it wasn't like, again with like they start off making you be like a little nervous about what's going on with the kids, but then they're collecting seashells, and then they just walk up to the zombies and they give them seashells. And I'm oh, so blatantly there's something a little off about this family from that, because they're already kind of like, what do they have, like pet zombies or something like that? It was kind of like this vibe that I was kind of starting off with, to be honest.
Yeah, it reminded me of that scene in the prison.
Mika and
hey, you're good with names.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name, but no, it's just something, because we're going into this obviously with our history of The Walking Dead, so we see something like that and our flags are already raised.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll get into that eventually, but like that's like something to consider, I think, about the show and kind of like where it stands, in regards to like its function,
No, for sure. But yeah, how about you, Jay? What you thought? The little kid, did you think it was a little odd that the kid was the first one to run out in the middle of the night?
No, the kid's awake at all times,
But as a parent, wouldn't you be like, nah, you're gonna stay in the back of the corner of the house while we have this boat rolling up on us, this group of people?
But the kid's always awake, like the mother said, creeping into his sister's bed because he gets scared. So he's definitely watching out the window the whole time, maybe looking for his next pet zombie, next pet walker. But no, I wasn't surprised with the kid. Kids are curious, He was ready. He had the slingshot in hand too again, so he was ready, Yeah. But I definitely did think some was a little different or peculiar about this family. immediately. You know, the guy, you know, he was feeling lucky, right? I guess, you know, he took the man open arms, but yeah, maybe, you know, this was a military outpost or something. This was like the annex to the base. You never know. Maybe they were the forerunners, the front guns that covered the rest of the island. Yeah. My mind was racing at that moment, but I didn't really think too much, actually. No.
Yeah. Yeah, I think really once you started talking to the dad and you started like actually kind of meeting the family and he was talking about like nature and all of these other aspects of things, I was like, oh, like, I mean, he's giving a weird vibe, but I didn't really connect him to being like part of a grand scheme or anything. I just thought like, oh, this is like a generally crazy dude or something along those lines. I think like he's just a little bit off. Either he was before things started happening in general anyway, or like something like obviously the outbreak and things happened from there and that kind of like segmented him further. But he gave off a vibe, I think, the entire time that was kind of like there's something not right about him. And the son, Seth, gave off that same vibe.
Yeah. With with Seth though, Seth was what he was doing with the fence.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this is something that Rick's group should have been doing at the prison, and
well, they were doing it at the prison.
No, but he let them build up
way too long. Yeah,
because that's how they ultimately got in was too many walkers.
Right,
you know, they should have been
them out like every week or something. In this, they were saying.
Yeah, in this, yeah. But to go back to the father though, he had an interesting theory to discuss the balance of life. You know, the earth. This is nature's way of
cleansing itself,
cleansing the earth of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what do you guys think about that? Could you see a situation in our future, in our reality, where the earth is overpopulated by humans and there's some like natural occurrence from the earth?
That's the plot of that movie, The Happening.
Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking of with Mark Wahlberg.
Yep.
Mark Wahlberg was terrible in that movie, but
I'm thinking more of like Dante's Peak. You know, I'm thinking more of like if it's gonna happen, it's gonna be
Dante's
like
Peak was good too.
You know, volcanoes and you know, maybe creatures getting up out of the water. You know, sharks walking onto land and lions roaming the city.
You know, there's other ways for nature to course correct.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a theory, I guess. Like, I appreciated at first in general just, like, seeing someone provide another theory because, again, like, in Walking Dead, we really haven't gotten that in a while. People have way kind of broken off from that aspect of, like, why did this happen? Can we fix it? Is there a cure? Like, no one really considers what it is. It's just become a way of life anymore.
Yeah, so I think someone what it is now.
Yeah. Right. So just someone positing a theory, I think, was, like, an interesting thing to have, even if it wasn't, like, a great theory or anything like that, but it was just interesting to hear that perspective, you know?
Yeah, since we have to just completely forget about why or how this happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, we just get a little snippet of the napalm bombing in the first episode of the season, like
right, and then
we see a little more of that, like people running and screaming.
That's the Jedi mind tricks. You're not gonna concern yourself with how this all happened.
Like this happened.
It happened. Just deal with it. We told you what happened. That's it.
Believe me when I tell you this.
Because you know, in this episode, we find out that the whole West Coast is fucked up. They got bombed too.
Yeah, they just jump right into that. They said that the coast is all firebombed
coast
and
is fucked. San Diego's
like half of the country is essentially gone.
Yeah, it's like
it's the same guys that still haven't decided whether it's gonna be Glenn or Abe, right? Those are the same guys writing this shit. What's going on here? Make a decision, guys. Make a decision. Pull the trigger. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
You think central, you know, in the center, like mid-center U.S. around there, you think zombies roaming the land will quickly take over those states?
Nah, you got too many guns, man.
Right? There's so much land. I feel like those would be the best places to combat the apocalypse.
Well, where are they at though right now in Walking Dead? Aren't they basically in like kind of Central America at this point, more or less?
Are they still in Georgia?
They're in Georgia. They're in
I thought they left because they were going towards Washington.
They did leave. Yeah, they're up by Washington now. They are. I think aren't they in Virginia? Yeah, Alexandria, Virginia.
Mm.
Oh, so they're still East Coast.
Yeah, East Coast though. Yeah. Come to New York.
Yes, yeah, right. You kidding me? Anything happens, Long Island is done. That's its own. That's a zombie island.
No, I don't know, man. I think it might be alright. We might be able to put the gates up and be good.
Think so?
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Maybe destroy the bridges, actually, right?
That's it, man. Destroy the bridges. we're
Only go
good.
by ferry or... Actually, you're right.
Yeah.
You clear the island.
We're good, man.
You know, that's kind of the thing to consider, because you think an island could be very fortified and you can actually like be very solitudinal in that regard. It's just you and a bunch of people, cut yourself off from the rest and you'll be good, which is again kind of why it was kind of interesting to see that this guy and his family on this island, like, you know, it's a thing that I think you kind of hear from some people, and it's like, what would you do in the zombie apocalypse? I'd go and find a secluded island and I'd just fucking live off the land and whatever, you know. And this is kind of that.
It was an interesting build up in this episode. How, all right, this is very good, this situation right here. But we know from experience that these situations usually end up to be too good to be true.
Well, that's the question though. Like, when you say from experience, do you mean us as the viewer or them as
right?
the...
Yeah, as the
liver,
from the well, us from the viewer, but also from the father, because I was talking just from the viewer, but as we're going into this. From the father, he knew though, because he knew it wasn't a good spot, because the buildup was, all right, this is a great spot. Why would you leave? And Travis asked that specific question, and then we saw not too far away was the heavily populated area.
Yeah. So where was he living? Like at the last little point or the little tip of the island?
Yeah, was
like
he in the
off on the
lighthouse? I think
outskirts.
he was in the lighthouse. I think they were in the lighthouse living.
I think that was just a light that they were shining in the living room. Are you like guessing that from the light that they were?
I thought they were in a regular house.
Yeah, it was a regular house. It was just off to the side, you know.
Yeah, and close by was the little like
amusement town.
Yeah, the little shop or whatever they had over there.
Shop of horrors.
True.
Now it's a little shop of horrors.
You know, it was a personality trait that the father had, where like they had that conversation with him and Trevor, and they were like, Trevor, Trevi.
I'm thinking like in my head, who the fuck is Trevor? Like, who the fuck is Trevor?
From GTA, from The Walking Dead.
Smoothest talker, Junkie Depp, El Salvidad. As far as I'm concerned, those are the only characters.
I like that one the best.
Junkie Depp.
Junkie Depp.
It's better than not Johnny Depp.
Yep.
Jonesy Depp.
James, that's good.
Yeah, I like it. Actually, he was Nick. He's searching around for his fix. That was great. I was like, please score. Come on, score. Find something.
That could be what the show is, right?
That's what the show really is. He's looking around everywhere for his next score.
It becomes post-apocalyptic, getting high adventures. Like, I need to find something, my next hit, and how things like crumble around him as he's trying to get high.
That's exactly how it happened. He had inadvertently got that little girl killed, because she wouldn't have looked at that globe if he didn't go snooping around.
Or if he said something about it too, be like, "Oh, those, you don't want to touch those." Instead, he's like, "Nope, can't get high off these ones," and like kind of.
Why wouldn't he take them? He should have taken them. Like he should have taken them with him. He left them there. He should have taken them things, man.
Well, didn't want to probably ruin the trust, you know.
It would have been no drama. There would have been no drama in the episode if he did.
Well, I took it as he didn't take them because it's not
his place. Right?
Because what if the father found out? Then who knows? Because in that situation, they didn't know if they were gonna be friends with this family to come along or whatnot. Nick knew. He saw the pills.
They were so down to take the kids though. So like.
Yeah, but then you take it like the parents that finds the pills. That take what? What did we take? Tell me. What did we take? Huh? Tell me. Say what you want to say. What are you hiding? What are you hiding in that little globe? Huh? I thought we were gonna see him frothing at the mouth though. I did, yeah, and like the maybe like the comeback scene after the commercial, like Nick was gonna be frothing at the mouth because he had to take the chance to get the fix, to get the high.
Yeah.
So, do you think he was looking to get high, or do you think that it was that he was certainly looking for something after he was talking to the kid and the kid mentioned the power pills?
Yeah, well, he wasn't looking for a tampon.
I mean, he was obviously looking for pills, but the kid said power pills, and he goes,
but what kind of pills?
I don't know what those are. And that kind of set off an alarm in him in terms of, like, I need to kind of find out what the hell is going on with these pills that they're
probably like
taking.
A mix of both, you know?
Yeah, a mix of both.
Because I'm sure if it was pills that he could take.
Because then pills sparked in his brain, like, damn, this kind of pills?
Right.
So there's pills around here? Hey, if I find an antidote, or if I find, it's like some kind of anti-venom pill, or if I just get high pill, Hey,
right. I mean, I think
win-win-win situation.
I think his interest in it though lied a little bit less in the man. I would love to get high as a kite, and more in like regards to I'm interested in what these pills are, because I think that's where they're trying to take his characters a little bit less away from the
drugs. Yeah,
the
I think he's clean. I think I'm getting that vibe from him too. That he's clean, and I think something traumatic is gonna have to happen, and then he'll fall back into the cycle. But I think he's off it too. I think he is. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe.
Well, to go from that to segue into Strand, what do we think of Salazar finding the MP5 with the maps? Do we think that Strand is like a drug trafficker, or maybe you thought maybe like CIA?
I thought he's an agent of some kind.
He's a secret agent.
Yeah, he's going. He's got the key. He's got the map to the mothership, man, to get the fuck out of here. That's what that shit is. And you only got room for 8 people or however many people are on the boat right now. That's why he's like, no more people. Like, we have to get on the mothership. There's only 8 seats left. I have tickets for everybody, but nobody else. I'll kick a kid off. Don't make me.
That was funny. You put him back where you found him.
Put him back where you found him. Oh, he's not playing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely an agent of some kind, man. And then with that fucking gun, I mean, if I'm thinking a drug trafficker might just have like some standard issue shit, maybe like a special.
I mean, he has a yacht though.
Maybe a Calico.
I don't know if he has a yacht though, or if he's
no. I mean, like whether it's his yacht or not, because that now we may see that it might not be his yacht, seeing how things are playing out. But I mean, in the sense that he's in the control of it. That's what I mean.
That was too much of a fancy pants gun, man. That thing was that was a nice gun, man. That wasn't a standard issue shit. That's like I know my shit kind of gun right there, and I want.
I thought it just looked like a standard.
It just looked like a.
Nah, I thought it looked nice, man.
I don't think it was all. I think it wasn't like an AK, or it wasn't like a MP, like a fucking, it wasn't like a military. I don't know.
It seemed like a standard MP5 from like Call of Duty.
Right, it didn't seem like anything.
No attachments or nothing,
or anything like that.
That's what I'm saying though. It's like something perfect for him. Like he knew specifically what kind of gun.
I see your point. Like it's not like a cheap gun that's not gonna. It's reliable.
Like a general, like a general gun or something. This is a nice gun. Like that gun was suitable for him. It was like perfect weight, perfect kickback. It seemed like too specific.
Consistent.
I mean, it depends. I mean, like if he's just a run-of-the-mill drug dealer, it could just be, I have enough money to get something decent too. Like I don't know. I don't
stereotype it, man. Why gotta be drug dealer? Why can't he be like a human trafficker or something?
He could be.
Like a sex slave, fucking.
I mean, or some shit. Let's be real though. Any negative depiction with Strand is probably gonna be. Everybody's thinking right now, the
drug dealer.
Right? It doesn't really matter what it is. I mean, it's something. He's obviously up to no good. So
gangbanger. He's a gangbanger.
The point being is that he doesn't really have anyone else's interest really in mind. Like I kind of said last week, he seems singular-minded in terms of where he wants to go. Even faced with the reality of like San Diego isn't the place we should go when he gets the book from the other boat. He still really wants to go there because that's kind of like in the direction of where he needs to go, which is really Mexico. So I don't particularly really buy that, he's an agent or like he's in there for the good. I think he's kind of
not in for the good. He's just he's he's bringing the people along because maybe he needs human shields, right? Or maybe he needs maybe he does have a little heart though. Everybody has their own role to play. Like he sees Nick and he knows that Nick, is he could play a specific role. Everybody has a specific role to play. If you look at everybody that we have here, they're like everyone has their own little talent. Their own little diverse talent, and that's good for the next world, for the next life. I think he does. And
I guess we'll find out soon. I hope, because that's honestly the only plot thread this show has at the moment.
Yeah, it's the only saving grace we have, right?
Yeah,
it's like the big thing we need to find out from this season.
Right. If it ends up being something mundane, then I really don't know where the show's going at all. Like if it's just like, hey man, nah, like it's cool. This was actually the other guy that owned the yacht's gun. It's not mine, or I don't know. He's blatantly making calls to someone, so it couldn't possibly be that. But
now, is that a sat phone?
I don't know.
Is that a satellite phone that he had? Or the satellite still up and running?
It seemed like he just had a regular cell phone.
Is that a fucking Nokia?
So regarding the island, what would you guys have done? there's two different ways that I'm interested to at least look at it to pick your brains for a second. Now, if you didn't have someone like Strand and it was your boat, what would you guys have done? Would you have stayed on the island for a while, try to make it as far as you can, or what? Because I mean, we know what's going on with California and most of the West Coast that it got firebombed, and there's like half of the country that's off the grid.
Keep the motor running.
But you're staying on the island for a while then?
Yeah, I'll stay there for a little while until I can't anymore, I guess. Until I see that first little twitch in their eyes, they're looking at me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because they have things working out there, they got a little, like I said, they got a little plants growing, little crops growing. Why not? Scour the island. There's more going on, too. There might be another survivor or two that they haven't bumped into. This is still fresh. This is still a fresh apocalypse. You never know. They got a little carnival going on there, too. Maybe hop on a Ferris wheel. Hit a carousel or something. Maybe a bumper car.
Like the boardwalk or something.
Right? The churros. There might be some fucking churros stashed around there or something. You never know. I guess, you just stay there till you can't anymore. Why not?
It's the best situation they're probably going to have for a while, I think. And kind of hang out there until you see what's going on. Like you said, kind of till you get a glint in their eye. Like a sense that they're kind of maybe viewing you as family and want to put something in your food or whatever, and kind of
yeah, they did have that little moment
with them.
Well, Travis and the father, the dude, he was like, he said it. We're glad that monsters didn't come to the island. That now we have our friends.
Right.
I'm feeling lucky.
Friends to family to all of a sudden, let's all kill ourselves. They had a lot of pills too.
There were a lot of pills. That funny feeling, the thing you're feeling in your stomach isn't salmonella. It's arsenic.
Just gave it to you, you didn't even notice.
So how about now to look at it from where they are exactly? Would you try to convince Strand to stay for a while longer, or you think already at this point you gotta go?
I mean, he's kind of made it pretty apparent, I think, at this point too, that it's like, it's my boat. We're going where we're going on his single mission to wherever. I guess now it's Mexico, but I don't think they know it's Mexico because they found the plans. But where are they supposed to think they're going?
San Diego. Well, they thought they were going to San Diego because up until they had the conversation that everything's gone, pretty much.
Right. So, like, why are they in such a rush to leave? Like, what reason has Strand given them behind, we need to go, like, now? Let's not hang out here too long?
Strand, I don't think he made that choice. It was Salazar that brought up the area that they should be going to, rather. Mm-hmm. And then Strand was like, all right, we'll go there.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, who knows what's waiting for them there, but.
True, because I know that Salazar El Salvador found the map and the gun and all that stuff, so he's aware that he was not necessarily, like, he's kind of being a little bit duplicitous about where it is he's going, but I wasn't sure about how he's kind of sold everyone else on that, because now they are aware that San Diego's out of the picture, and you can't lie to them and say that's where they're going, so I didn't know if they'd come up with something else. I must have missed when Salvador said that.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly where the location was, but it seemed it was funny because in that moment Strand was looking at Salazar, and like it was a good 2-second stare at him, and then he was like, "Okay, we'll go there."
That works.
Yeah. I mean, I guess anywhere works if you're not really going there, right?
I like that. So, I guess, final thoughts, I guess, like any takeaways you got from this episode, like anything that we think was accomplished? Because, I mean, now they have a gun. We got some more character development where they're seeing all this fucked up shit that's going on around them even more, So it's building their experience up that this is really it, this isn't just a little secluded thing, an isolated incident, so it's a lot bigger in scope than what they originally were hoping for,
Mm-hmm.
So how about you guys?
I was thinking that it kind of ends up being a situation where, the episode in the whole was kind of like season 2 of The Walking Dead in like a microcosm. I kind of mentioned before, like we brought a little bit of like hints of it, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
where season 1 ended with the CDC like whispering something into Rick's ear, right?
Yeah.
And like them kind of coming to the realization then of like things are pretty bad all over the place, not just where they are, and that there isn't much in regards to hope. And then episode even ended with like a little girl dying and getting shot, so like it kind of brought back some sort of parallels to the farm from season 2 with Sophia and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in a lot of ways, actually, the episode kind of moved all of that stuff forward in a very quick manner. Like within the span of an episode, you've kind of moved these characters a little bit closer to where the Walking Dead characters are currently.
Yeah.
And that is kind of, to me at least, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, that I don't really quite know then where the show has to go, because then in what regards is it compelling in being different from The Walking Dead? You know? Aside from it just being now separate characters, like it's not Rick and his crew and the locations are different, but if they end up just kind of being within a post-apocalyptic setting and kind of dealing with zombies, then to what degree are they going to just kind of run into similar situations and kind of dealing with things that Rick's crew has kind of dealt with in the past, or just simply put like not being much in regards to being a novel thing? Because like, you know, they still kind of sell this show on being beginning of the apocalypse and like that sort of
that perspective of it, showing it how it went down and
right,
society crumbling,
right. And you know, and they're kind of barreling past that, and eventually you're just going to be at the point where like that stuff isn't on the table anymore. You know, the more you find out how, the quicker I guess you find out how messed up everything is, then the less potential there is for it to be something where you can say, oh, you know, like, I mean, the whole West Coast is messed up, so you're not going to ever go to a town in the West Coast and all of a sudden, like, it's bombed or whatever. Like, that already happened, you know?
Yeah.
So the apocalypse is kind of here. So, you know, I'm trying to kind of think of what reasoning there is and purpose there is behind this show other than just wanting to have a zombie
zombies all
show.
year round.
Right. And what I thought was interesting about this episode was kind of like the potential of it being like vignettes. You know, because you really haven't had something where, you know, just short self-contained stories, episode by episode, the crew meets someone else new, and you kind of get to see, like, you know, eventually maybe at the end of the season, like, fuck it, just follow a whole new crew and just do anthology style, maybe, you know?
That would be interesting. Imagine at the end of this season where everybody dies, or maybe like one or two survives, and we have a whole new group. That's what I was actually hoping for with The Walking Dead. For most of them to get the axe and them to have to struggle again with low numbers on the road.
Right.
But it seems like that would be a good direction for this show to take early on, I guess.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think a lot of shows can really benefit from that too, I think, because
refreshing.
Yeah, you know, and you can see new areas, new perspectives, new characters, the way they're dealing with it. Like, again, I think the most interesting thing about this episode was kind of seeing this family and the way that this group of survivors is kind of dealing with their situation, you know, and then even the knowledge of, given the best possible scenario where, for all intents and purposes, like, life is kind of continued, you know, not to the extent that Alexandria kind of has, but, you know, they still had power, they were secluded in a way, and I kind of got the sense they were secluded beforehand, too. You know, it doesn't seem like life is really, like, there hasn't been much of a change in the status quo to them. Just kind of seeing the way that they're dealing with the whole situation, where they're kind of like, you know, a little fatalist about it, and more or less just kind of sitting there saying, well, we'll live till we live, and then when we gotta go, we gotta go. And kind of knowing that there's going to be some end to it. Like, it was interesting just to see that sort of character building. And I think that if every episode were to be that could be interesting. But in terms of where the series is going for these characters, I really don't know.
Yeah. How about you, Jay?
Just like to point out that a little girl died.
Mm-hmm.
She rose from the dead, bit her mother's neck off, ripped it out, clean out.
She got her nom on.
No, she got her little munch on, and mother's dead. And then a few minutes later, we see the mother coming back, and then she gets killed again. That's pretty gruesome right there. That poor lady died twice today. That's
Well, that shit
sad,
happened
man.
fast too, dude.
It did, man. All you heard was a ah. The quick little the little girl was on her jugular was spraying everywhere, and then that's it. Over. And then poor lady comes limping out. You don't know, maybe she was still alive. The kid didn't even give her a chance. Did Seth even give her a chance?
No,
Maybe the father patched it up.
Seth is ready for this shit.
You know, maybe the father patched it up, a quick suture or two, you know? Maybe she was coming out there saying, I'm gonna be okay, guys. It's gonna be okay. And then fucking Seth just blows her head off. Like, what the fuck, man?
Mm-hmm. I mean, both the daughter and the mother kind of turned quick, too, in general, didn't they? Like, literally, she took the pill, the kid ran downstairs to be like, yo, something's wrong with my sister. And then by the time they went up there, she was a zombie.
Yeah, it was super quick.
It's like a fucking quick transformation. Same thing with the mom, too, you know? Like you said, she might have been still kind of alive or whatever, but if she turned, she turned quick.
I wonder what happened in that moment then. What the father did. What did he do? Did he kill the daughter, stop her from eating the mom, and then...
Well, he was sitting there waiting to die too, right? Like, he was kind of like, yo, like, because they told him, it's like, you don't want to be here, and he was like, nah, and he kind of like sits on the floor. He's like, I know. Like, he basically committed suicide at that point, didn't he?
That's a good question. Maybe
what did he do?
Because we're gonna run into him later.
I rewatched that scene. We didn't hear a gunshot or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to wonder how did the mother get out of that situation?
Well, she beat his ass.
Yeah, she beat his face off.
Daughter came through. Daughter's right there eating the dad right now. That's why the mom's walking out looking for other meat. Where's my son?
So overall, we're up on the episode, it seems, after this discussion. At least far enough that we're gonna keep. We're excited to see where at least the show is gonna go next episode, and I guess that's the most important thing for a show to do, huh? Keep you interested, at least at the very minimum, just enough that you keep watching next week's episode.
The bare minimum.
It makes me say that I want to kind of see where things go, but at the same time too, like I kind of said earlier, I don't really know where they could go, so I'm kind of saying like,
let's go.
Yeah, and hopefully it's interesting. You know, I don't know. It needs to, you know, I don't know. It was like, as a self-contained episode, it could be good, but I guess there's 12 episodes this season, not 8.
Yeah.
So maybe like they have some time to kind of meander a little bit, but I really just don't quite know what the overarching plot of the series of this season is, and I think they kind of need to set that up sooner rather than later. Seeing what happens with Strand, I guess, might be a little interesting, and that's kind of what I'm kind of hinging my hopes on. But if in the next couple episodes, like I just don't have any reason to feel particularly invested in what's happening at all, really. I don't really know where they're trying to go. I don't know what story they're really trying to tell, and you know, I kind of want to know quickly whether or not that's kind of, it has a direction, or if it's just going to be kind of, let's get to the point where we can just kind of tell similar stories like The Walking Dead.
No, for sure. We would definitely like a clear goal in mind, something that sets the audience up for some sort of overarching expectations. Where like, all right, we need to get to this area, and we know that they're going to get there eventually. How they get there, we don't know, but they have to get there eventually.
Right, and if they're kind of going to Mexico too, like you know, like I mean, because maybe something happens once they're in Mexico, you know, like I think maybe
Salazar comes with meets up with. Was he in the cartel? Is that what he was part of earlier that he mentioned in the first season?
I think so.
Well, maybe an army.
Maybe he meets.
Army.
Maybe he stumbles upon some of the people. Oh, it was the army.
Yeah, because I want to say that he was saying something about the army, I remember, and the army came in and like promised him that things would be okay, or like things were going to be okay with the town, and then very quickly they were very corrupt, and that was kind of like his reasoning behind like not really wanting to trust the U.S. government.
Was it the Mexican army?
Whatever it was he was from.
Am I just saying that the Mexican army because he's Hispanic and I'm just a damn racist?
Stereotyping.
I mean, there was some racism in this episode actually with the father with Travis, where he was like, I know your culture. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't know me.
Well, he was down with his culture. He was like, yo, like Maori.
He judged them based on his last name and his appearance, you know?
Right, because he was like, you know, you're a Maori. You're a Maori, right? I'm an amateur anthropologist or whatever he said.
Yeah. But how about next week, though? Game of Thrones, same time. What's the drop off gonna be?
Next week.
I mean, I'll tell you what I'm watching.
I know for sure because it's on HBO, Game of Thrones, so there's no commercials.
Right.
You watch that bad boy live, no interruptions, and then afterwards you catch the Fear the Walking Dead and skip the commercials.
That's true. You're not wrong. That's definitely it. I just feel like definitely if I put one in the back burner, they ain't sold me on Fear the Walking Dead entirely yet, whereas I'm down for Game of Thrones. So that's like the one that my investment is. I guess that's also the other thing is maybe I was kind of hoping that they would have really kind of sold me on the show a little bit at this point by now. That maybe, like I said, like I'm just really not particularly invested in it yet. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, without further ado, that will conclude episode 10 of Day After Dead. I'm FUNKNOWN. I was here with Jay and Asadasa.
Yep.
You can reach us at our Twitter, twitter.com/ISiClub. Also, youtube.com/ISiClub and twitch.tv/ISiClub. As far as me individually, I'm FUNKNOWN. You can reach me on my Twitter at unknownISI.
And you can reach me, Asadasa, at Twitter at ASADASA.
I'm gonna need a day off, man. You guys can't reach me, B. I had a long week, man. My kid's birthday is this week.
There's always so I always
Tumble Bus, man. Tumble Bus was sick.
I always look forward to what you're gonna say at this little bit.
Don't try to reach me, man. I'm gonna need a day off. I haven't slept in 3 days, man.
You can actually reach Jay at Twitter at twitter.com at J_IXI Club.
Oh. Maybe we'll set something up.
That's where he's at.
Or if or maybe how about this hashtag JIXI Club and tweet it at IXI Club.
Hashtag find Jay.
Where in the world is Jay?